everyone, my name is Alyssa Wilson and I chose to do my journals here at Ramble Ridge Park. As you can see, there's a pond and there's a trail that goes around it. There's a huge open field kind of in the back over there, and it extends all the way back over there and back down and into the neighborhood. So I chose to do my journals here because I've grown up in this area. I actually lived in the apartments that are right behind me. And my grandma also lives in the neighborhood that's not too far, and I went to an elementary school that's walking distance from the park. So I've been here for a number of years, and I still come here to work out, or I'll take my daughter for a walk and let her play and run around through the fields and things. So this place is kind of special to me. I've had a lot of family memories here as well. So when we were initially assigned the assignment, I wasn't super duper thrilled about it. I kind of had to think about it and think about where I want to do it, but I happened to be here walking with my daughter, and I instantly knew that this is where I wanted to do my journals at. It's always been a quiet and peaceful place, and there's always other people here kind of exercising or walking their dogs or kind of doing their own thing, and I figured that this is a great place to come and clear my mind and to reflect back on some of the materials that we're learning in class and how I can apply it to my life as well. So one of the connections that I want to make was with Women in the Environment and Sallie McFague's position. I actually did a little bit of a deeper reading into her, and I read one of her readings called Supernatural Christians and How We Should Love Nature. And I know it wasn't directly assigned to us, but I feel like I was able to relate that back to my paper as well and some of my journaling experiences that I had here. And as a Christian as well, and there's actually a church there that I've attended once or twice as a visitor, it just kind of made me think, like, put the two together and kind of think, like, as a Christian, that we need to live in the right relationship with nature. And that was a topic that Sallie touched on in her text that she also wrote. So she was also kind of saying in the book that she had written, that we've lost our connection and our view of nature. And I feel like coming out here and spending that time out here in nature and being able to journal, I was able to kind of reconnect and find myself and find my position in nature and where I feel that I fit in, and remember the importance of it and be able to see some of the beauty that's out here. And then another point that she touched on is we must pay attention to nature. It is important to pay attention to the little things out there, and I know I don't always pay attention to the things that need to be touched on and focused on. So coming out here and journaling, I was able to notice the little things, and I sat out here one day and actually counted the geese, which is something I usually don't do when I come out and journal. And I noticed around the edges of the water as well that the water is starting to kind of go away, and it's just the little things that you have to focus on and figure out maybe why is this happening and why is the water level decreasing. And then another point that she also touched on that was in the text was education centers. This is an area where a lot of kids come, and they don't always have the most respect for the environment and for the area out here at the park, and it's important that they're educated at a young age on the importance of nature and what you can do and what's their part to make those necessary changes. Another connection that I wanted to make was with Richard Miller's God, Creation, and Climate Change. So even though we're not always directly affected, it's still there. So climate change and global warming is still something that's there, even though I might not always see the daily effects of it or all of the horrible things that are happening because of it. It's still there, and it's important to understand and to acknowledge it and hit it head on and make the changes that need to be made in order to not reverse it, but to slow down the process of the carbon emissions that we're putting out and all of the horrible things that are causing global warming. And lastly, the last connection that I made was with carbonation. I went back and rewatched the video of carbonation after I did my first journal experience, And to me, I feel like that was a really good foundation to start off my journals with. I was able to really sit down and look at myself during one of my visits here and look at the things that I'm doing and that I can make those changes in. And I feel like after going through each of the 7 visits and having to sit and think about the material that was learned in class, that I could make those changes in my personal life. Like, for example, one of the days that I started to really think, I happened to be at my grandma's house and I was going to get in my car and drive down here, and I was like, why do I need to drive when I can just put that plan into action and walk down here and save that gas and not kick out that extra carbon emission that's not necessary. So I feel like Carbon Nation helped me really understand and realize the change that needed to be made, the things that needed to be done to reduce our carbon footprint, especially us as a nation. So all in all, I feel like I had a really good experience with the journals, and I'm so glad that I did it. And I know there were days where I was frustrated and just having a long day, and coming out here and being able to sit and just think and clear my mind and think about something else other than what's going on in our hectic and busy lives really made a big difference. And I feel like now I can go forward and move forward and share my experience with others. And this is definitely something that I plan on continuing on, is coming out here for about 30 minutes every couple of days and just reflecting and absorbing nature and enjoying it and appreciating it, because it's beautiful. I know right now there's not many leaves on the trees, but when I would come out here and journal over the past few weeks, the trees would be full of colorful leaves. They'd be yellow and orange and green, and there was a tree that's right about there, that little one in the front, and that one had pink leaves on it. It was just beautiful. So doing these journaling experiences, I really found a new appreciation for nature, and I'm glad that I did it.